You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on BQN and the Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Kelvin, and with me today, it's Amy. Hey, Amy, we're back.
Yes, we are back. It's been quite a while since we've had to do our All Good Things intro.
It is. It's February, isn't it, since we took our little hiatus from the view screen?
Yes, and so we hope that you were able to join us over there on the view screen for our season 3. I can't even believe it. We had fun giveaway with our little Pride comm badge made specifically and specially by JJ Seastrum, who is our associate producer. And so wanted to give a shout out to him.
Yeah, it felt very much like a step up as well this season. We had much better engagement. We brought on additional people to help us behind the scenes, like good old Kit to do the social media, which was fantastic. And yeah, just thanks again to everyone who tuned in either live or if downloaded and watched on YouTube on catch up. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had some good returning guests and some new guests. Just real quick, I mean, but what was a highlight? One of the guests or something that you especially, I know, putting you on the spot here.
It really is. I mean, for a start, it's trying to remember. I always love when Josh comes on, whether he's talking about astronomy or his actual career. He's such a passionate speaker that he's always a favorite of mine when he comes on. So big shout out to Josh.
Yeah.
What about you?
You know, I have just kept thinking about Chris's segment with him making his cosplay and just the progress and what he was able to learn and like teach himself to make these amazing cosplay, just his passion and his love. And I love that we were his first little introduction out there on a podcast, YouTube thing. So I really enjoyed that one.
I think it was Kristen who asked a question about his commissions, and I think the response, not verbatim, but it has to be the right time and very special. And I was thinking, damn, I was going to ask him to make me a new scant. So I don't know if the commissions are open, but I want a teal scant.
Well, you're coming to STLV, but gosh, that's in August. Better get that order in fast.
So what else have you been up to? It's a few weeks since I've seen you, since we wrapped on the view screen. So before picking up, starting All Good Things. So how's the last couple of weeks treated you?
Oh, it's just been wonderful. We've had great weather, and just yesterday went and explored some hot springs, just about an hour and a half away from Las Vegas, on the California side, Tacoma. And I have to say it felt very European because all those hot springs, bathing suits optional, and so we were the minority in suits. I'm just saying.
Right. You didn't go full Betazoid wedding.
Well, I had my niece was with us too, so it's like, okay, I'm going to cover things up.
Very respectful.
Otherwise, I definitely would have. My skin felt so wonderful. Perfect temperature. Hot springs are a must. I love them. Do you have hot springs over there?
We don't have anything hot over here. Although it's gorgeous today. Today is tropical. It's a big active day here in the UK. It's the world famous London Marathon run is today, but also the Manchester Marathon, which is a new thing. It's the second biggest marathon in the UK. So everyone's out running. I'm not one of those. I've been sat drinking cocktails. So I applaud everyone who runs for charity.
Yes.
So, what else have I been? I've been on holiday to
Yes. I
Area
need
for
to
the last
hear
few weeks.
about this. Kelvin, where did you go? First of all, tell our listeners. And when did you plan this?
So James and I usually go to Gran Canaria at Easter time each year, and this is our couples holiday, just the two of us, not in a big gang. It's not party. It's just sunbathe by day, a lovely dinner at night, one or two drinks in the hotel lobby, and it's
Mm.
like a spa resort hotel. So they've got beautiful spa facilities that we make full use of. It's even got a lovely gym, so I can still go to the gym every day as well. So it was a very quiet holiday. But I don't know if you know the Canary Islands. They're a very, very popular destination for people in Europe. They're owned by Spain, but they're actually just off the west coast of the Sahara Desert in Africa. So they're very far down south. So it's guaranteed great weather, great temperature.
Hmm.
Gran Canaria has a very big gay scene. So if you say to anyone here in the UK, I'm going to Gran Canaria, they'll say, oh, all right, okay. He's like, no. We're going to the north, to the capital city, Las Palmas, which is very far away from all of the hedonistic usual things that gays get up to on holiday. So we always have to correct people that it's our quiet couples holiday. But yeah, beautiful weather, just lots of sunbathing, eating well, and the batteries have been recharged.
Yes. Well, your pictures looked great. Please go check him out on Kelvin's timeline. You can thank me later. But no, just so beautiful human being, Kelvin. But yes,
Instagram has great filters these days. That's all I'm saying.
but lots of pictures with books by the pool and wonderful food. So looked like you had a good time and well deserved. Well deserved.
Thank you. It was great. So we've got something new for this season on All Good Things. We're trying out something new. What are we doing, Amy?
Well, just wanted to let you know that we're going to be brave and post the raw, unedited video onto our Patreon for those who support the network. Just thought this would be a little perk, so you can see sort of how the sausage is made.
Yeah. And then you can do a compare and contrast to the audio version, which streams as normal, where you get your podcast, which is very cleaned and edited to an inch of its life. You're going to see all of our stuttering, our ums and ahs, our long pauses, and us taking timeouts and sidebars. So
Yes,
we
and
just wanted to put it out.
yeah, maybe a few tangents that we don't always put in.
Yeah. We try and keep the timing to like roughly an hour for All Good Things. So sometimes our unedited material is much longer. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, like you're used to doing for the view screen, or you just prefer to consume your podcast visually rather than on audio, that will be an option for you if you're a Patreon subscriber. So head over to patreon.com/BQN and sign up if you're able to.
Yes. All right. Well, something else is new on All Good Things, and we are putting to rest our great joy and gratitude segment. I appreciate everyone for indulging me on that little segment. But I'm like, you know what? Let's something different. We had, if you remember, we had All Good Worlds. That was so fun. But, as in life, things change. So we are going to, for our next segment, call this Trek in the Strangest Places. And just sort of what happened to you that made you think of Trek in the most unlikely instances.
Yeah.
So,
Do you
Kelvin,
want me to
what do
go?
you? Yeah, I do.
So, you remember on the view screen, and even the last season of All Good Things, a lot of us read this TNG DS9 crossover book that came out last year. And it's set just before Emissary, just before the pilot of Deep Space Nine, which prompted me to do a DS9 rewatch. But I did it in Stardate order, and I put the episodes of TNG and Voyager in within DS9 as they aired. It's the first time I've ever watched Star Trek in this manner, and there was just so many coincidences that you see during the run watching it like that. And a lot of it is behind the scenes stuff. Like you'll see the same guest star on both TNG and DS9, and they were
Oh.
obviously shot within the same week, so that guest star was available for both. So things happen. I had the biggest coincidence this week. I've just finished DS9, which runs at the same time as season 5 of Voyager. So I was watching the episode 1159 of Voyager, which is the one where Janeway plays her ancestor in the year 2000, leading up to New Year's Eve 2001. And in the story, Neelix creates a new holiday, which is called Ancestors' Eve. And he does it to cheer up Captain Janeway. And that holiday is set on April 24. And that was the date I randomly watched the episode. And it was
Shut up.
so weird for Neelix just to say, it's April 24th. I was like, what? It is April 24th. I just couldn't believe it. It's just like the Matrix level kind of.
Yes,
Is
it
this
is.
real computer and program?
Right? Yeah, that makes you like look around. What's going on? Yes, end program.
Yeah, so that was my coincidence of the week. I just could not believe it that I was watching episodes set on April 24th on April 24th.
Wow.
What about
What a
you?
coinkydink. Oh, I try. This is not a politic thing, but I'm just gonna have to go here. There's been a lot of talk in the US around DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I was just listening to Peter Buttigieg, I think that's how you say his name, talk about like what is the DEI, and then it's opposite. And I'm just like, DEI is it. Come on, people. We want the diversity, we want the combinations, and we celebrate them because they make us richer. And it just, I'm at the hot springs with friends, which relative acquaintances type of thing. But there were 3 of us, and we were all Geminis. I wish Kristen was here because she loves the astrology. But we were all Geminis. I was on the first cusp, one was in the middle, and the third one was on the end cusp. And I'm like, we were all 3 so different Geminis, but yet still all Geminis. And I don't know, it just the weirdest things. I was just like, we need IDIC, and I hope that we can celebrate and recognize we are stronger with our differences.
And
That's
did you
all.
say that to the guys?
I told them, I'm like, look, we're all Geminis, but different, but they weren't Trekkies, so I
Right.
couldn't really share my IDIC connection.
But it made you think of it.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, new season. So, what a great time to start a brand new series on All Good Things. We've got far too many series that are hitting episode 10, I noticed actually. So, it's like it's time for a new one.
Yes.
And
And this series was inspired by Joe.
It
On the
was.
view screen. So if you missed that was our last episode of season 3. So go back and watch that if you missed that, or listen to on the podcast. We had a great discussion about music, which we were like, Kelvin was like, oh, we need to have a new series.
Yeah, that one episode of the view screen was just not enough to cover the scope of what we can chat about. So the music of Star Trek is our new series. So we are going to kick off with episode 1. And in what other way can we not kick off the music of Star Trek with our homage to Subspace Rhapsody, Strange New Worlds, season 2, the magnificent musical episode. So Amy, remind the viewers, listeners, what happened in Subspace Rhapsody. Give a quick recap.
Oh my gosh. Well, the Enterprise encounters this amazing quantum uncertainty field, which creates a reality where everyone communicates via the medium of song and dance.
It's so funny when you talk about the story of Subspace Rhapsody, because it's almost like the story doesn't really matter. They just need a vehicle to be able to do the music. So I applaud them that they found some kind of Star Trek method of creating this reality where it kind of made sense.
Yes, it is brilliant. What are you talking about? I absolutely love the explanation and like even in the song, the why are we singing? It laughs at itself in the fact that this is just crazy, but still I love it.
And I love it too. I mean, let's start with our dive into the various songs that we get in this episode. So, the first song you've just mentioned, which is in the teaser, is called Status Report. And it is an ensemble piece. So, everybody sings. What do you think of this song, Amy? How does it kind of rank there with the others of the episode for you?
This one is definitely a favorite. I'm going to be saying this a lot, listeners, so just know this. But I love that it sets up the entire episode and they are like, what's happening? Why are we singing? Why am I rhyming? What's going on? Um, and it's so like their faces and their expressions as either like, what's coming out? It's like they can't even control it. And that funness just sets up the entire episode. What do you think about Status Report?
Well, like you, it is one of my favorites as well. I probably would say it's my second favorite song of the episode. I like that it's ensemble. I like that everyone gets something to do, and I like the kind of the exposition of it to the story of something weird is going on. And I love that it's in the teaser as well. You
Mm-hmm.
know, straight in there. Um, some really, really great things within this song. I love Laan's verse. That's a really powerful one for me because the music builds and then she comes in as the turbo lift doors open. It's really good. And I would argue that Christina Chong is the best singer amongst all of the cast. I don't think she got the best song, but individually, she's the best singer.
Ooh,
I would
even over Celia Rose Gooding?
I would say so, yes.
Ooh,
It's a matter of
interesting.
opinion, and I'm very biased because Christina is from my neck of the woods here in the
Yes.
northwest of England. But I've listened to her recorded material,
Mm-hmm.
little mini EP, Twin Flames, and the other songs that she's put out. She's great. So yeah, that's a favorite point. But also as well, Mbenga, when he sings in Sick, he's got such a deep singing voice, and you think, why? It was that all he really had to do. Maybe the actor just thought, can you keep it minimal for me? I don't feel too comfortable. I don't know.
Well, there was a little bit of pushback when the episode came out of the auto tuner device that they used, and it was used on quite a few of the actors, with Mbenga being one of them.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I
And
didn't know that. I thought he was just quite good.
and it was sort of again funny because he himself says later on, like, I don't even sing and I'm singing. So what's going on, you know? One thing I also like about this song is, well, sort of the episode overall, but in the song, each character, we get to know more of what they're doing. Like you brought up Laon, like she's like security's tight, what's going on? Everyone's checking in okay. Um, uh, Ortega's, you know, flying the ship. Like we get to see what their character does and how it's affected. Yeah, I think it's really great. And these songs like develop the characters more, like especially Ortega. Like we see her doing stuff, flying the, you know, I just love it.
Yeah, same. And like the lyrics of the song are like departmental almost, like the sick
Yes.
day. You know, is it a headache, a splinter, a left
Yeah.
ankle sprain? Yeah,
Yes.
that's the work of the day. Nothing weird is going on, and all
Right.
the way through, it's why are we singing? What scan. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a great piece. It really is, and it takes you into the main credits, and then at the end of the credits, you just get Pike saying, "Well, that happened,"
Yes.
very dryly, and then you're away. So, what's next?
Well, connect to your truth. And again, this episode is with Una and Kirk. And I love this one because Una is passing along her wisdom to this up and coming number one officer who's, going to obviously become captain. And she explains what we've seen for, 1.5 seasons is her distance, but yet how she is still trying to connect individually. And so I love that passing the baton, and I love the why is she in Starfleet? Like, we get that from this song.
Yeah, I found this song. I mean, that changing of character with Una to become more approachable, closer to the crew, having had this previous reputation of being a little bit standoffish, where fun goes to die, as they say in a previous episode. I just felt it was such a sharp U-turn for the character, and I don't know if it's because of the popularity of the character over the first season, especially after Ad Astra, Per Aspera as well. Everybody loves Rebecca Romaine and the character. Did it need to be so explained that I'm trying something new? I don't know. It seemed to almost dishonor what has come before, in that they're saying I want to be I want to be seen as more fun. Didn't seem like something that would strike me as something Una would be concerned about.
Well, I sort of feel like the song is that soft transition of her change. And I think any good leader needs to self-reflect.
Good
And
point.
now she's, so it's like, all right, this is my crew. Now, how can I be better to serve them? And I just feel like she is such a really devoted first officer that she's going to have these moments a lot.
Yeah. Of the music, I felt this song was the most musical theatre-esque of all of the songs in the episode. It sounded like it could have been lifted from Mary Poppins, The Sound of Music. It had that kind of cadence to it.
Yes.
So yeah,
Classic.
it was very, very classic.
Mm-hmm.
So what is next after that one?
Oh, well, we get How Would That Feel? This amazing song by La'an. And this one I feel is the most music video-esque.
Yes. The bit where
Like
they're
you
under the covers.
Yes, like the 80s, 90s of MTV music videos, and this you're remembering our time in Toronto from tomorrow. And yeah, there what could have been her longing, but very beautifully sung.
Beautifully.
you were
And I
saying,
love the way it builds as well. It's so kind of soft and tender at the start, and then by the end of it, it's huge. I think the only thing I don't like about this song is the previous song ends and then this one starts immediately. There's no kind of scene in between of regular acting. You go straight from one song into the next. So I think maybe a little bit of a break, maybe some kind of other scene, or otherwise you're just listening to it on the album, song 2, song 3.
Yeah. That's true. That is a bit of a jar there. But I think they were just pulling in from the Kirk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say Kirk listens to the advice, because Kirk's very close to his crew, sometimes a little too close by modern standards in terms of what goes on in the workplace. But yeah, he definitely likes to maintain close contact.
Yes, but it is after this song where La'an figures out, oh, I am revealing my innermost feelings. This is a trigger. And she tells Captain Pike in the turbo lift, like, yeah, this is a security real danger. So we need to really pay attention. And then we get private conversation with Pike and Battelle. Absolutely love this little back and forth between Battelle and Pike.
Yeah, I mean, it's half a song, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know that Davey on the network, host of Shrek's Quiz and Bargain Bin Gamer, this is his favourite song from the episode. Unfortunately, it's my least favourite.
Oh
So,
my
yeah,
gosh.
I don't care for this song. And I think, oh my God, I'm going to get struck down here. I think it's because I don't think Anson Mount is a very good singer.
Oh yeah, he's not. Yeah. He's first to tell you that too. Yeah.
Right, okay. So it didn't resonate. I like the fact it's on the bridge. I like the fact that Arn walks over and presses stop and he's on his knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the song, the lyrics, what's going on, I didn't care for it.
Oh, I love the rhyming of it, because she's like, I appear to be singing and rhyming, and and she's got attitude. This is the first time I actually like Captain Battelle, and he's like, I'm gonna call you back. Oh no, you don't. I'm not done yet. I mean, she gets a character, and I am okay now if he continues to see Battelle. I
Yeah.
really didn't like them together. So this is where it changed for me.
Yeah, I didn't like Battelle in the pilot episode.
Oh yeah. Terribly.
Obviously in Ad Astra Per Aspera, she's the baddie. She's the one who's prosecuting Una. But I think it's great to build the character in this episode because then it leads into the season finale, the longest cliffhanger in Star Trek history, because we still don't know what's going on with her and these Gorn eggs that are in her. But that's good because you care about the character now in the finale because she's been sassy and, a little bit hard done by in this relationship. So I think it was good timing for that to happen here. I wonder if there's a full version of this song anywhere. I don't it's not on the album, but
right. Yeah, when the album came out, it was Thad of the network who hosts Infinite Diversity, and he was like, I was really expecting the full version at least to be on the album, And I was like, yeah, where is the rest of this song? We need this.
yeah. Well, the next song, we certainly get a full song, and it's another Una song. It is Keeping Secrets. Now, this is a song that I tend to forget if I was listing all of the songs of the episode. And I don't know why, because it's a great song, and it actually resonates a lot because it's about having a secret and living a double life, as she's been reflecting on her augment status and how she's had to keep it quiet, and now she feels a lot more freer now she's come out. So I think any queer person listening to that would certainly identify and recognize it, but I don't know, I find it a little bit forgettable.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that because this is my least favorite song. But it's the one that's been going in my head as I'm like trying to remember Connect to Your Truth. I'm hearing keeping secrets and them floating up in the air, which again, I did not understand the purpose. Why did they need to float up? Why did she need to remove the gravity? There was no reason for it. This, for me, yes, is the low point. This is the dip in where I'm like, all right, let's get to the fun songs. But I like the message. So it's like, I have to separate it because interesting you brought that up about being queer, is that I just see it as you've got all these secrets because you're not willing to share them because people are going to make fun of you. But then when you can reveal it, how freeing that is. So can we get to a place in our friendships and in any type of our relationships where we can share those secrets? That's the true, I think, defining moment of a relationship of
Yeah.
you get to share those secrets.
Yeah, such a powerful message, powerful song, sang brilliantly by Rebecca Romaine. Again, one of the very strong. You
Hmm.
can tell she's from a theatre background. But yeah, just something didn't click with me. I don't know why with this. It's
Yeah.
almost like because it's in the very middle of the
Yeah.
episode, you've not got the primacy recency effect of you remember the beginning, you remember the end. It's that middle. However, that being said, we're going straight from that into epic song, and I would say it's probably the song of the episode, certainly the beat, because they reused it at the credits at the end. Uhura, this is the song that Uhura is kind of, what's the song, humming, I guess, is the
Mm-hmm.
at various points during the episode. This is I'm Ready. It's the nurse chapel in, what is it, the bar? What, they don't call it 10 forward, is there a
Yeah, but
name? But it's just the bar, isn't it?
we call it 10 forward though.
Yeah, I don't know where it is on the ship, but let's call it
Yeah.
10 forward for the sake of it. Yeah, a brilliant song, sang amazing, but the choreography in
Hmm.
this is amazing, where they're all dancing, and you have Sam Kirk, you have Uhura, you have Spock, standing there giving his disapproving looks. So
Ortegas.
again, yeah, Ortegas as well. Yeah, it moves the story on so much, this song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just such a banger. I play this so much in the car when I'm driving, and I have it on really loud driving down the motorway. So yeah, this is a favorite of mine.
It is so catchy. I'm ready, ready, and yeah, the whole ensemble and the dancing and the continuation of Chapel's storyline. Again, these songs really move the story so much faster than any other episode that I can think of. And so, we know she didn't get accepted. And now this is, now she did get accepted to the other thing she applied for, right? Is this the Vulcan one? No,
I don't
this
think it's
is,
the Vulcan one, but it is a
yeah,
scholarship for some
right.
kind of sabbatical. This is the one with Dr. Roger Corby, who eventually becomes her fiance.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a big original series kind of crossover
Yeah.
here in the kind of the mythology, the continuity. Yeah,
You know,
I think with this, when we were on the Star Trek cruise a couple of years ago, when Jess Bush was on the cruise, there was a day where I went to the gym and she was working out next to me in the gym, and I already felt really weird because I was like, "Oh my god, it's one of the actors like a meter away from me." And they would have filmed this episode before that point, but it hadn't been released yet.
right. I remember that.
And I bet the actors were dying to talk about it, but obviously couldn't. And I've almost had dreams of I would have loved to have just said to the side, like, I'm ready. Or just hum the theme and see if I actually
Uh-huh.
looked at me. It's just, yeah, it's a great song. It encapsulates the episode for me. If I think I want to listen to music from Subspace Rhapsody, I will either play this episode or Status Report as my first two.
Yeah, I remember that on the cruise and like cuz I did one of the smaller actor events,
Yeah,
and I heard a couple of times from the actors, we can't wait for you to watch this season. There's some big surprises. And now it's like, okay, I'm getting it. I mean, but every episode was huge in season
yeah,
2. So, but I'm, imagining specifically, Chapels or what Jess Bush, being really excited for this episode cuz this song she knocks it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So good, so
Yeah.
good. Which then takes us into almost an act two of this song.
Right, because I forgot when I was watching the episode because I listened to the soundtrack almost nonstop. I mean, it was 2 weeks after it was nonstop. So, you're just hearing the music, but when I was watching, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot that Spock was in the 10 forward bar." Um, watching her sing and be excited for this scholarship thing, fellowship. And then to go into I'm the X was that jarring jump was acceptable, but yet the one with keeping secrets, that was, not.
That didn't work. Now, this
Yeah.
worked because it
Yes.
was the same song in a very different style of music. So it was
Mhm.
like the yin and the yang, a happy celebration
Yes.
to upset. What do you think of the title from a mathematical
Oh my
perspective of
gosh.
I'm the X?
Okay, this is pure genius, and I love when they take these math terms and plug them in, and it's like, I'm searching for Y, I'm the X, and the calculus and the
Computation.
yes, yes. It's so beautiful. This is my favorite song of the album, hands down. I was going between Status Report and Private Conversation, but it was after talking to Joe, and he was like, "No, you need to love I'm the X." And once we had that discussion, I'm like, "Oh yeah, Joe, you're completely right."
Yeah. I'm sure I read somewhere as well that Ethan was not confident about his singing, and
Oh,
he's amazing. Absolutely sensational in this performance.
yes. I had that deep baritone voice and just
Mm,
so
so
moody.
rich.
Oh, it was perfectly written for him. The logic, the mathematical, trying to figure out. Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song.
Really is. Which takes us to our penultimate song, which is the Uhura song, Keep Us Connected. And this
Mhm.
is, for me, it's a little forced into the story that it gives us so much backstory on Uhura.
Mhm.
And it's great to have that. But I don't know where it fit into this story of I need to find a pattern. I need to find a pattern. Oh, let's talk about my dead family. Sorry, very, very, sad subject and beautifully
Mhm.
sung, but it just didn't seem to fit with the story. I don't know. What do you think of this song?
Yeah, it was a stretch. And you're like, okay, I understood it more like, well, not understood. I related more to it of I'm at the beginning where she's like, well, comms are down. And so I have to do things old school and connect everyone individually. So to me, it was that bookend of that idea. And that's like, okay, she's the one that's going to connect everyone. It seemed weird to put her in that role because I almost wanted it to be Una since she's the first officer and the one. So that's my wishy-washy. I'm like, I could see it as Una, but it's a
Yeah,
Uhura thing.
it's almost like it's at the wrong point during the episode. If there was more of a story of Uhura in the episode of dealing with grief and why she puts pressure on herself to be perfect, a little bit like they explored in Those Old Scientists when she's
Mm,
with Mariner, or even
mhm.
the episode which is about her and you find out about her parents. Forget the name of the episode. That's not like me. Um, yeah, it was almost two subjects in one song. It was I'm looking for a pattern. I need to solve this problem. I've always had to be independent because I've lost my family, and yeah, I didn't really care for where it went.
Yeah, however, it does serve a purpose because the songs before that were individual and they're like, well, we can be divided or we can come together. Everyone can have their own voice or we can sing together. So it did sort of connect up where, all the songs before were their little individual stories.
Yeah. So there we go. Then we get to the grand
Mm.
finale. So what do you make of this one?
So amazing. I love the choreography, the dancing through the corridors, and we're dancing in engineering, we're dancing on the bridge, we're dancing everywhere. We are really united and trying to get the range up to 288 or whatever it was.
Yeah, the choreography of the extra, I wouldn't say they're extras, they're probably actual dancers who they brought in. Just brilliant. The camera spinning round, full choreography. The campest of choreography at the very end, where they're all on the bridge and they do the arms up in the air. That I know Ewan loves that moment. It's his favorite moments of the episode, quite strangely. Yeah, it works because this is putting the plan into action to solve the problem. Everyone's got to be involved. It's just it's a perfect way to end the episode, to be able to celebrate success. And yeah, what did you think of the Klingon little K-pop moment that was put in there?
Well, I wish that they would have sort of continued what they did in the episode where didn't he break out into song a little bit and it was I don't am I misthinking?
Who's
We
he?
might the Klingon. Didn't they call in and didn't they have like
I
the
don't
K-pop
think
wasn't the only type of song they sing.
well, it goes into K-pop, but that's the first time you see it's actually Hema,
The second time. Yeah, yeah,
Bruce
yeah.
on screen. But they hail them, and it's actually Uhura, I think, through her com, where she says it's definitely reached the Klingons because they're singing to me.
Yeah, okay,
They
that's
explain that they're affected, but I don't think we as the viewers see it until We Are One, this
yeah.
final song.
I think it's interesting when in this song and they go to the Klingons and it's like he's wanting to see, and then it's like this like a reprogram reboot, when your computer reboots and then and then he starts singing. I think that was a brilliant twist. I'm sure that was all on the actor, It's like, all right, I'm going to transition into this music world that we're in. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, maybe it's a bit of trivia. I don't know, but there's a different version of that insert where they didn't go down the K-pop route and they did Klingon opera. So it's the same words, it's the same performance, but it's a different style. So it's on YouTube if you search for it. It's definitely out there, and there are a lot of fans. I think it's split the opinion of 50% of people saying, no, I like the funny K-pop version versus the other half who are saying, I actually quite like Klingon opera. Klingon opera is such a famous part of Klingon culture that it deserves to be in the musical episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've not seen it, head over and search YouTube and have a look at that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to search that out. I did not know that existed.
So just a quick recap then. So we've had all of the songs there. Remind us, Amy, what was your favorite? What did you land on in the end?
Okay, so I'm the X is the number one. And then Private Conversation and Status Report, I go back and forth. They're the ones that always, like when I'm listening to the album, I just get excited. Oh, this one's coming up next. What about you, Kelvin?
Yeah, if I'm going 1, 2, 3, I would say top spot is I'm Ready, followed by Status Report, followed by I'm the X.
Ah,
yeah, so we're quite
similar. Yeah, we like the upbeat ones.
We do. Right, let's have a look a little bit about the actual stories that we see in the episode. This is such a great episode for moving along the continuity of the entire season and it's all about romance as well. It's all about relationships between characters. So let's start off with the La'an and Kirk storyline that started at the beginning of the season in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. What did you think about that content in this episode, or even that entire story arc of the season?
Yeah, I was okay on Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow because I just knew that it wasn't our real timeline. But what they do with it here in Subspace Rhapsody of actually using it for La'an to delve into what she is going to allow herself to feel, I feel that's what makes that episode worth it. So it is because of this episode that makes me love that Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Yeah, there's something quite fascinating about this relationship for me. And I think it's because Laan is a new character. So
Hmm.
we don't know her fate. We don't know what happens to her by the time we get to original series, because clearly she's not there and she's never mentioned again. So does she die? Does she just transfer off and go happily into the sunset? I don't know. But there's all sorts of things that get me thinking, is this it for those characters? I know he mentions Carol Marcus,
Hmm.
but if you think back to the season 1 finale where they're in the future, it shows that Laan works on a different ship when she beams in, and she runs over and hugs Pike. And he's like, "Oh, right, you're a hugger now. That's strange." So she's
Yeah.
been through this character development, but she's working
Um,
on Kirk's ship. So maybe
mm,
they're together in that alternate timeline of the future. So I don't think we're done with this storyline with him saying it's not going to happen because I'm seeing Carol and she's pregnant. So I'm hopeful for more. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Paul Wesley when he first came on as Kirk, but after I love Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, it's one of my favorite episodes. The chemistry of these two actors
mhm.
makes it hard not to be so invested in this relationship. So
Oh,
I
yeah. Their brotherhood really came out in this episode. And yeah, that'd be cool if they would have had a song together, but
yeah, brilliant. So next we have Pike and Captain Battelle. So we said we weren't too fond of Marie Battelle in until this episode. What do you make of the relationship?
I love that they put Pike, this captain, this person who we know his outcome, that he's the leader, that we will follow him. And here he is making breakfast for his crew. Here he is going on vacation with his girlfriend. Like the most everyday, mundane. That's what makes Pike so relatable, right? Because he does these just every day. All right, yeah, where are we going to go? Oh, this is just a typical, I'm sure every relationship has had a similar argument. So I absolutely love it. And that again, it's because of this episode where I'm like, all right, she can hang with him.
Yeah, maybe I think I went a little deeper. I liked that you can see that Pike is not a perfect person. You know, we
Mm,
usually with the characters on Star
mm,
Trek, certainly like Janeway, Picard, Cisco, they're perfect, they're heroes. And Pike is a celebrated Starfleet captain in the present and obviously recognized in the future. But here he is with fear of commitment
mhm.
and, pushing away his girlfriend because things are getting serious. And rather than having a clear conversation, he's making all these useless excuses. He's being like a bit of a normal guy. And yeah, it's hard to say I like him more because of this, that relatable aspect,
Mhm.
because you just kind of want to shake him and say, oh, come
Yeah.
on. And, and we've all had people like that in our lives, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to show that balance of he's got things to work through, and it's not until he almost messes up his own relationship himself, and then it builds to the point where she's in jeopardy in the next
Mhm.
episode. Is it the next one, the one after the season finale, that you've got this kind of guilt from Pike wanting to save Marie because it's made it realize how important she is to him. So
Mhm.
it really builds this relationship of the episode. And again, we don't know whether she lives or dies. There's real jeopardy.
Do you foresee Pike doing something that would jeopardize the mission in order to save her, like Worf did for Jadzia?
Ooh, good simile. Yes, I do. we've had the preview, which I think is the first scene of the episode where they are fighting the Gorn. So clearly
Mhm.
they've been given their orders to retreat, and they don't. So he does disobey orders. Um, but I don't know. I think a lot of people have been theorizing because when they showed those beautiful cast photos, there was one
Mhm.
of Marie Patel. So they're like, oh, great, you've ruined it. She's not going
Oh,
to die.
yeah.
But
Spoiler.
maybe it's a red herring. Star Trek has been known to send the
Mm.
fans down one path to then do a sharp turn and go for the shock value. So I don't know. I don't know what way to go. But I also don't know if I'm a fan of the relationship overall.
Yeah.
If she does die and then this grief becomes quite consuming for him in the next season, is it going to be a bit of it's going all Michael Burnham on us, he's going to be angsty forever, or whether
Mhm.
they stabilize into a more happy, loving relationship? I don't know if
Yeah.
I care either way. So then the biggie, the final relationship to explore in this episode is Chapel and Spock. I'm very keen to hear what you think of this because I know you're such a T'Pring fan.
I know. And it's just like, I appreciate that they keep trying the Nurse Chapel and Spock. I really do love T'Pring, in part because there's something wrong with Spock and there's something wrong with her. Like there's issues that they've really developed that relationship. So to have this Nurse Chapel and Spock, I think Spock is curious about Nurse Chapel. And so that's his draw because she's just so human. And so I'm going to be happy at this moment and just go moment to moment, where he's so logical and like, wait a minute, I got to have ABC before I'm happy. So I like that, how they're so different. I don't know. What do you think about them?
I enjoy this relationship because where it takes my mind in, first of all, the whole continuity of Star Trek. In the original series, Chapel was in love with Spock. He either wasn't aware or didn't care about it. So how does this kind of prequel translate into that? Is it a complete retcon? Or is something going to happen? Maybe is something going to happen with Spock's memory, that he has to remove all memory of the relationship, and then it becomes she's just unrequited love for him, and it's never, to make it tragic? Or do I look at it in the way that I'm critical of Chapel because of the way she treats Spock? Because I, in my youth, used to pursue guys all the time and then would get them and lose interest straight away. Just friend zoned them after a one night stand. God, I'm giving away all my secrets here. But I've seen that behavior in myself, that you pursue, you get the relationship, and actually, oh no, I'm no, it's not going to work because I'm going off for this scholarship. I'm going to be leaving.
Right.
So I don't know how it made me feel about Chapel, because it's things I see about myself that I thought, that was a bit douchey behaving like that. But I'm so invested in this relationship that I want to see what's next. And in the trailer for season 3, you do see some snippet scenes of them in bed together. So whether that is picking up where we left off, or whether it's an alternate universe, or like a 7 of 9 on the holodeck fantasy, who knows? But we're definitely not done with this relationship.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where it goes and how he deals with T'Pring. I mean, because that'll show what type of character he is.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, shall we move on to some assimilations and regenerations? Just to remind the listeners, an assimilation is something that we love, and a regeneration is something that maybe not so much. So, Amy, have you got any assimilations, first of all?
Well, since we are talking music of Star Trek, the opening and closing credits, completely brand new. Like, you start this episode and you're like, something is different already. The music, beautiful. It just sets the tone. And then, as we talked about, those closing credits of just the rehash of all the songs. There's some name for that ending. credit. If Joe were here, he would know.
I can melody? No, not melody. Where you kind of mix them together.
Yeah.
There is a name for
For
it. It's
the
lost me as well. This would be a part we edit out. So if you are watching, if you're watching us on the video, this is us umming and ahhing because we don't know what words to use.
Yes. But yeah, at the end, you're just revisiting each of the songs as they, go through. So the credits.
An encore?
Well, yes, encore. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's French. It means again. Anyway, yeah, my assimilation is, it's such a small moment, but it's so beautiful. It's when Pike says to Uhura, "You're the voice of the Enterprise." Oh God, it's so lovely. It's like poetry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only honors this episode or even Celia, but that's about Uhura, the character, the legacy, the fact we recently lost Nichelle. It's everything. That one line of dialogue, it just made me melt.
And to my TNG heart, it just brought in Majel Barrett. Voice of the Enterprise. It got all wrapped up in this warm, cozy blanket of this character, the Enterprise, and who has a voice in every episode.
Yeah. My other assimilation, again, such a blink and you'll miss it moment. At the very, very end, after they've, broken the uncertainty field, Pike and Pelia do this weird little dance around the captain's chair for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's so cute and it's so funny. And I'm wondering, was that kind of improvised or was that scripted? Yeah, it's so fun. It's the entire funness of the episode encapsulated. And Pelia doesn't get much in this episode.
No. Yeah. Well, she's not a singer either. So. No, you're right. It's those little moments that dance with Pike and Pelia where it's like, okay, these are two human beings having fun. And their relationship on the set, it breaks that fourth wall a little bit. One other moment in that last part where Spock, he's standing off and then he's like, "Oh, I need to come in." And then he does the little and jazz hands, little campy. But I thought that was cute too.
Have you got any regenerations for the episode?
Okay, Kelvin, I thought and thought and thought. I do not have a one. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't think I do. As I've just said, there's not a huge amount for Pelia and Benga. But that's fine. I'm just saying, I'm being greedy. I want more. It's not a negative.
Yeah.
It is what it is. There's so much in this episode that is just so great. And we've talked about the kind of standalone episode quality of Strange New World, like old Star Trek. And you don't really go to Discovery or Picard and randomly say, I will just watch that episode.
Right.
You can with Strange New Worlds, and whether it's those old scientists, whether it's Subspace Rhapsody, it's just a perfect episode to just watch in isolation to give yourself a pick-me-up. It's a perfect episode in my book.
It really is.
Shall we take a look at some trivia and continuity? Would you like to start us off, Amy?
Yes. Well, the songs were written by Letters to Cleo band member Kay Hanley and Tom Pulse.
Nice.
Did not know that.
And though not included on the official soundtrack, Uhura plays a clip of Anything Goes, specifically the 1962 off-Broadway cast recording by Eileen Rogers. We Are One concludes with a rendition of the original series theme by Alexander Courage. So two non-credited pieces of music there.
Yeah. Well, actress Christina Chong campaigned for a musical episode, commenting, "My persistent nagging did it. I started pitching the idea and they said, 'Funny you should say that.'" So we have Christina Chong to thank.
Thank you, Chrissie. The writers included the characters' discussion on possibly being turned into bunnies as a reference to the musical episode in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, is that what that was? I had no idea where these bunnies see. I'm like, what is this line? Okay. Well, and I've heard nothing but good things about the Buffy musical episode, but I haven't seen it. So, all right. Well, actor Ethan Peck commented how this episode, and particularly when he sings "I'm the X," is a turning point for Spock's character. Quote: His experience with Nurse Chapel could arguably set him on a path to being much more like Leonard Nimoy's Spock. With my Spock, we are definitely exploring much more of what's useful or not about being human. We can trace his development back to this moment, end quote. In the same interview, he also stated, quote, it was only a 2-minute song and it probably took me 9 hours to nail it, which blows my mind, end quote.
Well, he did nail it. 9
He
hours well
did.
spent. First introduced in the series premiere, Strange New Worlds, this is the first episode in which Captain Marie Battel's first name is spoken on screen. It was previously introduced as text on a pad in Ad Astra per Aspera.
Right. Well, in the original series, What Are Little Girls Made Of, set in 2266, it is revealed that Nurse Chapel and Dr. Roger Corby had become engaged at some point prior to his 2261 disappearance. As this episode is set in 2259, their relationship progressed to that point within a span of 2 years.
She's a
Makes
fast
sense.
mover.
2 years for an engagement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think how long I waited, but it was longer than that.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave it there. Okay, and finally, James T. Kirk mentions his relationship with Carol Marcus and her pregnancy. Dr. Carol Marcus, as we know her and Kirk's son David Marcus, were originally introduced in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
I like how they described his relationship, where he's like on again, off again, sort of just fluid, open almost. I got this feeling. So I'm thinking it still could work out a little bit.
Right, I'd maybe had a drink when I threw the outline for this episode together, because I thought we're talking about music, so there needs to be singing, and it was like, who fancies singing a line from one of the songs in the episode? It's up to you, Amy, if you fancy doing this or not.
Well, I sort of did. This is a private conversation about our frustrations, This is a private conversation. Click.
Done.
That's on.
You took no persuading. I love it.
All right, Kelvin, what's
What
your
am I
little
gonna-
rendition?
I'm not going to go with I'm Ready. I'm going to go with my favorite piece from the Status Report. So I'm going to sing La'an's verse.
Ooh.
So where is it? Security detects no threats. We'll do a personnel overhaul, no decks unchecked. All tactical functions are steady. Phaser banks, deflector shields, all at the ready.
Kelvin, that is so great. In fact, you were so amazing that you have summoned
I brought Christos to life.
What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. Whether you've got Xbox or Nintendo, check out Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey and Mitch, self-proclaimed gamers who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. Grab your popcorn as you listen to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out, hosted by Mark and Matt. Don your apron for The Food Replicator, where Matthew eats and drinks his way through Star Trek Cocktail and 3 cookbooks. Beam aboard Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Steven. In order to not repeat it, listen to History with the Szilagys, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Curl up with a good book and delve into beta canon with Peter, host of the Trek Book Club on Twitter and Blue Sky, and his companion Trek Book Club podcast. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey and MC. If you're a member of Starfleet Federation or Planetary Union, go check out Union Federation, covering current Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Head over to YouTube and watch The View Screen live on Sundays, your Trek-inspired talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy, with new 8-week seasons in the spring and fall. Spill the tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with an LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea Bev. And for our patron members, we have the Hive Mind with script readings and roundtable discussion. It's Green, a cornucopia of topics, and Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek. You can keep up with all of these shows by following the network at BQN Podcasts on Instagram and Blue Sky. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
So, Amy, it looks like we weren't having a private conversation.
We weren't.
Because we've summoned Christos. Christos, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Yay.
Oh my gosh, yay. Well,
I'm
we
a
are so
little jet lagged and I
glad.
can hear it.
Yeah, you're popping in from Hawaii.
Yeah, I think this might want to be one of our longest time zone stretches across the globe.
Right.
We're going all the way from UK to Hawaii. It's half the Earth.
What time is it there for you now?
It is 10 after 7.
Oh,
And
wow.
My California body thinks it's 10 a.m., which is why I woke up early.
which is
Bless you. Well, we do need to apologise, first of all, because we did plan to start recording an hour later, but Amy was up with the larks and awake and on it. So we just said, let's just go for it since you sent your apologies. But what a shame. We could have had you for the full episode. So we've gone through the songs. We've gone through the stories. We know you love this episode, Christos. So you tell us, what is it you love about Subspace Rhapsody?
I think the biggest thing is it's the most simple thing is that they pulled it off, right? Like they do it in a way that it's so believable and it's not hokey. And you're taking like two things I love, which is my Star Trek and my sci-fi, and then bringing in Broadway. And it's perfect. So, I mean, it's really that simple. And then, everyone does a really good job in this episode, and even the people you wouldn't expect to. So it's just a happy episode.
So which of the songs, and I'm sure you're very familiar with them because you and I talk when it came out and like how many times we've listened to it. What is your like favorite or your top 3 songs that you just love listening to?
Okay, so like one of my favorites is like Connect to Your Truth, because it's like very Julie Andrews. It's very, and it gives me really old musical vibes, and Rebecca Ramon, she's just like, she has that voice that you just would never expect her to have. I guess we saw that a couple of years prior in the short Trek, but yeah, she does such a great job in it. So I love that particular song just kind of pays homage to like older Broadway, and love that. I mean, of course, everyone loves We Are One. It's the big one at the end, and everyone loves a finale, right? Where the whole chorus gets together and everyone's got a thing. Going for a third, maybe Keep Us Connected, which is probably like the one everyone would expect, but Celia Rose Gooding does such a great job in that. Yeah,
We
so
did not rave enough about Celia Rose Gooding and her amazing voice. We did not. So I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm terrible with titles, so I was so happy that I had my playlist so handy. That I have this on a playlist because I listen to it so much.
Yes. Now, listeners, I hope you just realize why we podcast together. Like, Christos, you said exactly what we talked about with like the homage to old school musicals with Connect to Your Truth. Like, just amazing. So funny.
Brilliant. It just means that we're all tuned up in the same frequency here too. We're connected.
Right. Well, speaking of keeping us connected, Amy, do you want to tell us what are we doing next week?
No, I do not, because Kelvin, you need to set up Christos to sing his.
It's very early for him.
I'm not singing this early in the morning. I'm sorry. I'm barely talking.
He's giving us the Mbenga treatment.
Okay. All right.
I was upgraded to first class on my flight to Honolulu, and the handsome gay flight attendant kept my wine glass very full the entire way. So I was pretty drunk by the time I got here last night. I'm a little rusty this morning.
Oh, hey, you're not driving. That's how I look at flights. All right. Well, then, yes, Kelvin, I will tell you what we are talking about next week. We are going back to our holodeck malfunctions series, and we are going to explore Next Generation's A Fistful of Data's excellent Troy episode.
Troy episode? Come on. It's not even a data episode. It's a Worf episode. Let's face it.
Durango just steals the show. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. We would love to hear what you thought of today's episode, and we hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and our Discord server to continue our discussions over there. You can also reach us at AllGoodPod on Blue Sky, so make sure you give us a follow. We've partnered with our friends at the Fandom Podcast Network, where you can find us by searching the master feed, and the links can be found in our show notes.
Well...
Christos being here kind of ruins this line of the promo. Let's just go for it anyway. Let's do a bit of promo.
Listen, you want more of Christos, you can come see him, because we have a new episode that just dropped of What's the Tea, Bev? Check it out on the BQN Podcasts YouTube channel, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
We put that special plug in for you, Christos, thinking you wouldn't be here. So, well, and since you are here, can you, where can the listeners find you when you are not poofing into bunnies?
You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky, both as Christos at Greek Geek SD and at What's the Tea, Bev? And in the Discord server. I'm trying to pay more attention there.
It's been fun. Who do you want to ask next?
Yeah, sorry. And Amy, where can people find you when you're not getting connected?
Well, when I'm not doing that, you can find me here on the network where I am co-hosting Union Federation. We just finished up our character reviews for the cast of the Orville. So much fun. Please go check that out. It's really good. I am on our Discord server. That's where I pop in the most, so find us there. And Blue Sky at Counselor Amy, and on our Facebook group, the BQN Collective. And Kelvin, when you are ready to hit the gym, where can people find you?
You can find me on most of the socials at Kelvin's Timeline, or on the BQN Collective Facebook group, where I love seeing and commenting on all of your funny Star Trek memes.
Well, here on BQN Podcast, you will never hear a commercial. on one of our shows. And if you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week commercial free, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can join our Let's Fly reaction show, script readings, and remember, head on over and find this raw, unedited podcast on Patreon. So visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details.
Raw and unedited.
See what happens when she goes off script, everyone. If becoming a patron isn't your thing, you can still support the show by sharing our posts on social media, talking about it with your friends, or hitting the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast, and leaving us a star rating and a written review. That helps others to find the show.
At this time, we would like to thank our very own associate producers, Mahendran, Radhakrishnan, and JJ Seastrum. A special thanks to Graham Kelly for our opening and closing music. And to all of our listeners, we send out a heartfelt thanks.
Thank you for listening.
We hope you'll join us as we search out
all good things.